Tom Keene now joining us from London this morning for our morning must read. Tom, welcome. Normally we let you lead with your favorite read, but today's is so special that I'm going to take it over and share it with you. If you hadn't seen it, Mark Zuckerberg, just yesterday, Mark and his wife, Priscilla Chen, posted an open letter on Facebook, actually pledging it just after the birth of their daughter, Max, pledging that they're going to be giving away the bulk of their wealth to charity. And this was while the official announcement of their daughter. Our own Sarah Fryer came out with a very special piece that I'm going to say is a must-read, specifically on why this pledge is so important. Take a listen. The pledge puts Zuckerberg in the same league with other billionaires who are giving away the bulk of their wealth, including Warren Buffett and Bill Gates. The key difference is that Zuckerberg is starting at an early age, at just 31 years old. Sam, there's actually been a lot of criticism in the Valley. I mentioned Mark Benioff. Last year, Mark Benioff was very critical of his peers in the Valley who have been so successful but have not had the commitment to philanthropy that he would like to see. Seeing something like this out of Mark Zuckerberg, again, at only 31 years old, do you think we're going to see a shift in the Valley with all of these uber, no pun intended, billionaires changing the way they're running their lives, they're giving their money?
I certainly hope so. I mean, the amount of wealth that's being generated in the Valley and that has been generated in the Valley is just absolutely tremendous. And I think that Zuckerberg making this decision with his wife, hopefully will be a sign that signposts that other entrepreneurs can follow. I think two things really stand out to me about it. The first of which is he's planning to give away the money during his lifetime. This isn't something where at the end of his life he's getting his name slapped on the side of a building in a college or a music auditorium. Rather, he's trying to drive impact over the course of his life. And the second thing is he's been very clear around the areas where he does want to drive that impact. So again, I'm hopeful that other entrepreneurs who have success will follow suit.
That's actually, it makes him different than Buffett, because Buffett, who is basically giving it away when he dies, and Buffett hasn't been engaged. He's basically taken this money and said, Bill Gates, you're great at managing it, you manage it. This is very different.
And there's another difference, Tom, it struck me, going back to you in London. This is not being put into a 501c3 foundation, as I understand it. It's actually going into an LLC that quite explicitly will give money not just for nonprofit purposes, but also for for-profit that will be reinvested.
I agree, David, and I like what Sam said about the philosophy of what to do with the good fortune of wealth. I think one of the great things about Mark Zuckerberg is he realizes he struck lightning once, and he doesn't seem to want to go out and strike lightning twice. He wants to build on it, and you do that within a different philanthropy. I like the idea that it's not good enough just to put your name on a building. I think of a different philanthropist, Steve Schwartzman, with his incredible contribution to the New York Public Library, is another idea of how to nurture a big pot of money. I think the Zuckerberg formula and the Schwartzman formula have a lot of merit to them and to be a new philanthropy.
But Sam, by doing this now, Mark Zuckerberg is giving during his peak earnings capacity, and he's clearly going to be very involved. He's not just designating it away. I would almost compare it to Paul Tudor Jones and Robin Hood, where I try not to use the word philanthropy, and it's a lot more about impact.
Yes.
So when you see Mark Zuckerberg do this, what does it mean for Evan Spiegel? What does this mean for the guys at Uber who we've never heard, I shouldn't say I've never heard of any kind of active commitment like this. If you're running a company that's got a $50 billion valuation and Mark Zuckerberg makes a move like this, if you're Travis, the ball's in your court.
I would agree with that, and obviously, different entrepreneurs are going to take a different view in terms of the areas where they want to drive impact. But I do think that you are seeing kind of a notional shift away from, well, just my company is the way I can have impact, to how can I actually have impact across all the different things that I do. And it's not just innovating the next social app. That's not going to be necessarily the only way. You can create change in the world. There are other ways as well.
David, do you remember yesterday we sat here with the CEO of Merck, and he talked about and James Tisch, the responsibility of CEOs today isn't just about the bottom line and having a profitable company. It is doing the right thing, making sure your employees and your shareholders feel great about what you're doing.
Yeah, it also strikes me that the Zuckerbergs, as well as Schwartzman, are focused on education. They really put a lot of emphasis on education.